GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com. That ended abruptly. Welcome, everybody, to our Daily Gun Show. We come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern Time. And you know what we do? We talk about guns for an hour. On each day of the week, we do a different thing. And on Wednesdays, it's entertainment, pop culture, books, movies, radio shows. Let's do the tactical quiz. So we also do gun games and firearms fun. Tacticalquiz.com is one of our websites out there where you can find all kinds of fun ways to entertain a group of people who might be having a long format conversation in a live hangout or whatever you want to call your live conversations out there that sometimes get stagnant. So we built tacticalquiz.com as a place for people like this guy, Gizzard, to have a place to get a conversation going or to have some fun with something to pass the time on a long format show. It also gives people who are just interested in learning a little bit about guns in a different way a place to do so. And we want to say thanks to our Patreons. If you look below, there's a little scrolling thingy down there that says thanks to our Patreons who make it possible for us to spend our time on projects like these. We've been doing this for years, and we don't have a bunch of them. Got about 150-ish Patreons, and we value each and every one of them. They give us the time to work on these projects. They pay for the software and the servers, and like I say, the time to be able to do this. So we don't have to put a bunch of ads in here for a bunch of things. However, every once in a while we do like something, so we'll mention it. Tonight, though, is the tactical quiz, and we're starting a little bit late, mainly because I had a bunch of things going on IRL, as the kids would say, and just put the quiz together, maybe at the top of the hour here. Invited DJ in as the Second Amendment roadie to help out with this show, also because he would have mopped the floor with y'all, and that wouldn't have been fair to you, the listener. Here's the deal. We do this live, and I'm not going to put anything on the screen right now because, I don't know, I'm just being lazy, and I don't really have anything figured out here yet. So we're going to wing this one. We're going to improvise just the same way that a nice jazz ensemble would improvise a little something for their favorite guests after everybody else went home. This show is at midnight when everybody else is too tired and lazy to have their own shows. So this is for just the special people that are up live, and we'll impromptu or improvise some a tactical quiz here. But then we also take the audio and we push that out to all the different podcast platforms, and we'll attempt, without copyrighting everything, we're not going to play Name That Tune. We've done that in the past. You can go watch those shows, but they copyright and they ruin our channel, so I'm not going to do that tonight. But we'll attempt to do a audio version that's fun for people listening in the future as well. So you will have spoilers, I guess, because we will have to come up with a winner tonight. We'll see how many people are playing. Right now, we only have 4 votes in our tactical quiz. In our poll going on over on the YouTube side. We'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, I've been talking for 5 minutes here, trying to let people figure out that the show's starting and decide to come over. I've posted a couple of links out there on Minds and on Locals and on Instagram and on the YouTubes, I guess, and on Twitch. We got some Twitch people watching also. So with that being said, give DJ a chance to talk about tonight is gun songs and firearms lyrics. Take a second, chat a bit, let people know what you've been up to. It's been a while since you've been on the show. And then we'll see how many people raise their hand out there that are interested in playing Tactical Quiz tonight.
Gee, it's good to be here tonight. And what a night for me personally. Music is my thing. You know that calling me the Tactical 2A Roadie is an appellation that I appreciate and something that I strive to be even better at every day. So being able to talk lyrics and bands, the music industry itself, this is going to be a real blast for me. I took a look at that poll coming in and made my vote. So one of them does count this way, but I won't be participating. You know, I'm not going to mop anybody up as G suggested. I'm just here to hang out, have a good time, talk some music and some 2A along the way.
I'd like to put the first challenge out there for whoever can give us a decent lyric from the Battle of New Orleans by Johnny Horton. What do you know about that song, DJ?
I know the song itself, but trying to get past even those opening lines is not really all that easy for me. I know that it was in
something like that, but then there's a part in there where they definitely everything in here is going to be talking about, you know, firearms, guns, that kind of thing. So there's definitely a lyric in the Battle of New Orleans by Johnny Horton that we're looking for. And the first person to throw it out there, it's sort of like a scavenger hunt, or if you just know it off the top of your head, just how fast you can wiggle your fingers or type it into a keyboard. So sorry I interrupted you. Did you say you do know about Battle of New Orleans, or you don't?
I'm familiar with the song. I was having trouble accessing the lyrics past the first line, and it's coming back to me a little bit. But yeah, 1814. Plus, if I remember correctly from the second line, it refers to Colonel Jackson, which would be Andrew Jackson. And he actually, when I was in elementary school, was one of my favorite presidents. I don't know a heck of a lot about what he did beforehand. What I did know at the time, say in elementary school, is probably long forgotten from this addled memory. But yeah, it's certainly it's a catchy tune for sure.
So is that the one where they go 1814 took a little trip along with Colonel Jackson down to mighty Mississippi?
Yep.
Yep. And something about something, and then something.
Took a little bacon,
right.
Took a little beans.
Yep, yeah. We're going to go with Gizzards is here. There's a better lyric, but Gizzard was first. So just like a lot of times, if you're the first, you don't have to be the most accurate. The most accurate lyric would have been, DJ, go ahead.
Oh my, the most accurate lyric for the firearms part? I don't know. I'm going to have to look those up. Am I allowed to look things up for this? Since I'm not playing?
Private chat if you want, I guess.
Oh, okay. I should do that, shouldn't I? Fired our guns and the British kept it coming.
You're chatting with where he said right there. Yep. Sorry, right, go ahead. Go ahead and say it.
No, reading from the back chat. Fired our guns and the British kept it coming. There wasn't nigh as many as there was a while ago. We fired once more and they began a running on the mighty Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, that last line I remember as well. It's ringing in my head.
Uh-huh. I've heard it said we fired our muskets and the British kept it coming, but I'm guessing on the internet people are more stupid. They don't know what a musket is. But back when I was a little kid, I believe we would say we fired our muskets and the British kept it coming. But there wasn't nigh as many as there was a while ago. That's what we would sing as little kids when they would take you into the cafeteria or whatever. I remember singing that song. So who are we giving that to? Gizzard for being first or Roy for being better? Why don't we give Roy 2 for being the accurate gun lyric, and then Gizzard will get 1 for being first. Just like if you got a quick shot off, but you didn't hit paper, right? And I probably should put these somewhere else because I'm going to forget them. So I'm going to grab a piece of paper. Oh, here's the deal. In case somebody doesn't know, Foss quit doing the Wednesday show. It's over. I might be a misunderstanding, but I don't think it'll ever happen again. It's over.
No.
Oh, wait. Maybe it's just not this week, you're saying?
I just hope that isn't that news isn't right. I would miss the Mouse Party quite a bit. That's a great Wednesday evening program. I also like the time of day for it. fits right in with my preferences.
So Ice Cube, Man's Best Friend. Looking for a lyric from Ice Cube, Man's Best Friend. I'm looking for the good lyric. We will take 1 point for a quick lyric, but an actual good lyric out of there. DJ, do you know the song we're talking, or the song in question here?
I do. And as a matter of fact, I was like Ice Cube. One of my favorite concert experiences was that about 5, 6, 7 years ago. I'm horrible with dates, but saw him local, and it was the first time that I had been able to see him perform. But I would have loved to have caught him in a previous era. NWA was one of those groups that I really enjoyed listening to. But yeah, Ice Cube's got it going on.
So do you know the song we're talking about?
Yes, I do.
Best Friend. So this is this part that's tough with making the folks out there find the lyric, because very few are going to know these lyrics, but there is an internet, right? And it is open book. So to some extent, if no one knows the lyric because you can't hang with Ice Cube, then, oh, there you go. DLD. First exam came in and said hello. And then DJ. Oh, here. There's actually, I'm going to give DJ the whole effing thing on this side. He can take as much. I don't know if you can read this on your phone good or not, but there's 2 sections in there. So we just got one from DLD that is unquestionably one of them. Go ahead, say that.
Yeah, I've got the opening line ringing in my head. You know, ding ding dong, ring a ding 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 dong. It's a reference to another song. Sorry about that. But here's another topic I'm addressing. So learn a quick lesson about your Smith and Wesson. Yeah, Smith and Wesson, absolutely. There's another couple of references in there.
Well, he just came up and followed up with the one that would have won over the stupid Smith Wesson. Because, all right, Ice Cube, it's a tough song or whatever, but he's basically rapping about the Hillary hole. So he comes up and follows up with this one. Now you're supposed to say what it is, I guess.
I'm sorry about that. Look, I'm bouncing over to the text chat and from the back too. I'd rather have an AK than an effing K9. Yep.
So then, do we give DLD both 1 and 2 points, or just the 2 for being first and having the better lyric? Not every song is going to have a better lyric.
The fact that there are 2 submissions there, one person, same song, that's 2 points.
Well, yeah, but 2 points would be for the better lyric, and then there's 1 point for the first one. So does he get both of them, Sam?
Now I'm following. Yeah, absolutely. DLD got 3.
Okay, I don't know if he's got the fear in the pocket of big DLD or what, but now he's getting 3 points. So basically, here's how it's breaking down. DLD just walked in and took it away with 3 points for knowing a couple of lyrics to Ice Cube. And then song, and then Roy came in with the first song with the better lyric, with the fired our guns and the British kept coming. That's the gun lyric. But Gizzard did know the song first, so got 1 point over there. All right, now we will be going on to the physical challenge, because unlike a lot of game shows, oh wait, there are no other gun game shows because nobody else can handle this. So unlike the other gun game shows that don't exist, we offer physical challenges. So the first person to post something on Instagram that has something to do with a gun song is going to get 5 points. That's a lot of points considering you can only get 2 normally. So that's a challenge for all the people that have Instagram. Yes, G23 is hobbled by this one. It's unfair to him and other people that are vanquished from Instagram. But if you want to post something on Instagram that has to do with a gun song, right, you can be obviously very creative with that. For the people that are in here right now, how about a lyric from the man who shot Liberty Valance? DJ, do you know who the author of that song is? Or is that called an author? The writer of that song is?
I don't.
Oh, you don't? Do you know the song?
I do, but who it is that wrote it, I'm not sure.
His name is Gene Pitney. I never heard of him either, so I wouldn't know.
All right.
Do you like that movie, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance? It's a John Wayne movie that he's barely in.
I've seen it more than a time or two, G.
So you like it or no?
I do.
I've seen it because it's free. I've seen it a bunch of times because it's always like a free one, and whenever it's like a free service, it's one of the free ones. But yeah, it's okay. It's not my favorite movie, but the song's okay. Every once in a while, it gets on my nerves really quick. What about you?
Um, no, I can see I can see listen to things multiple times, and it's got to be something that's really abrasive. And when it comes to the film, yeah, I can sit back and watch that again. Absolutely. When it comes to the song, I can remember parts of it, but yeah, I wouldn't turn that down on a jukebox play.
I can't
Kind of in a
remember any lyrics of it. It's not like I know all these lyrics. I'm cheating because I've been doing this show for 1,300 episodes and we've done this before. So somebody could just be lazy and have listened to 1,300 episodes of the show and just know all these answers because I'm just pulling them out of a database of like 70 answers that we came up with. I mean, we did come up with it a long time ago. Boom, Roy. Because the point of a gun was the only well, you're supposed to be reading this. What am I doing all the work?
because the point of a gun was the only law that liberty understood. When it came to shooting straight and fast, he was mighty good. Nice.
Oh, look at this guy. This guy shows up, barbecue. What am I missing? Sorry, I was cleaning up wires, trying to make them. Well, good luck with your wires there. We just started the tactical quiz. Tonight it is gun songs and firearms lyrics. There's no mouse party tonight because he quit doing the mouse party as far as I'm aware. And then here's how it goes. Roy was just the first one and the gun lyric, right? Oh shit. So Roy is already in here. So that's 3 to Roy. I'm gonna have to put parentheses around these. 2 plus 1. Boom. And I'll have to put in here Liberty Valance because I don't remember what the first one was. So that means Roy's up to 5 points already. There's a challenge out there on Instagram. The Instagram challenge would be the first one to post something on the Instagram that has to do with a gun song, right? Is that the deal? And that would be 5 points to whoever gets that one. I got to write these down so I don't forget what all challenges I'm putting out there. Because again, we put physical challenges out there. How about anybody who's got a video up that has some sort of a gun song in it, or them pointing to some kind of a gun song, any kind of a video on YouTube? That will give you a YouTube video will give you 5 points also, I think. It's possible that somebody has a video up about gun songs somehow. All right.
And Roy had picked up those points back there with the I think it was the first question, the Battle of New Orleans.
Battle of New Orleans, thanks. I'm trying to put little notes here so I can eventually not be lost when this is all over. I imagine this might go long. DJ said he didn't care how long it goes, and there's no mouse party. So let's see how long we can go here. So the next one would be Colors by Ice-T. Is a song that's also a rap song. So if you don't listen to rap, that's your problem. But Colors isn't really so much a rap song as a song that is from the movie called Colors, which is freaking awesome. So what do you got to say about the movie Colors? You're familiar with it or you never heard of it?
No, I've definitely seen Colors. I saw that actually in the theater, and that song was explosive that year. It was one of those songs for him in his career where he began to reach an even broader audience. He had several albums leading up to that, and to have it included in and be developed for a soundtrack was pretty cool. Early rap was having a difficult time even in that era being used in film, and now it's ubiquitous everywhere.
Nice. Dude, and Gary and Gizzard just grabbed this like he wasn't even trying hard. So that's Gizzard gets 2 for having the gun lyric in there. The DJ's got it over here.
Yeah, he's out there saying "sucker die for your life when my shotgun scatters." Yeah,
I keep giving you the real lyrics and the other side too, FYI.
There we go.
Complete lyrics. But yeah, so Gizzard gets another 2 plus 1 for being the first and for getting the gun lyric. That's pretty much how we're doing this. Let's see. We do have some physical challenges out there. First person to get an Instagram post somehow relating to a gun music or gun song and then the first YouTube video. Both of those will give you 5 points. You don't have to record the YouTube video, just link to one of your YouTube videos. See what I do here is I give you the opportunity to link to one of your YouTube videos. Now, you're not going to be able to link, of course, but you see everybody with a blue wrench? Those are people that are, you can trust those people on the internet. And those are moderators here, and they can post links for you. Just tug on their arm, and they will post the link for you. There's a song called "Born in the USA" by a guy named Bruce Springsteen.
Never heard of it.
You ever heard that song? Are you a fan of it?
I'm totally joshing you on that one. Yeah, absolutely. Had that album.
I wonder about nowadays if kids like the Springsteen, if they know about the Bruce Springsteen. So we're looking for the lyric from "Born in the USA." What was that, 1980 or something?
Wow, no, that was more towards the middle there, like 84, I think is when that dropped. Yeah, I believe 1984. And gee, there's an opportunity for a younger audience to be able to check Bruce and what's left of the E Street Band out. I read just a couple of days ago that they're popping a tour this year. So who we got out there?
So DLD says, I posted on IG. So how are we supposed to find it then?
Oh, taking a look at the text chat, Gizzard Gary, he's out there, got in a little hometown jam, so they put a rifle in my hand, and it continues on from there. Sent me off to a foreign land to go and kill the yellow man. It's about a Vietnam experience. Bruce also wrote quite a bit. I mean, most notably from a working class person's perspective. Blue collar was his crowd.
What do you think about that guy? He's anti-gun, though.
My appreciation for artists doesn't have to include their politics. Sometimes their politics are so counter.
Yeah, he went all around being weird, though, like getting really anti-gun on everybody and making a big deal about it. I'm trying to remember when it was, but that's when I was like, all right, see you, guy. I don't need to worry about your songs no more. But We Are the World, was it way back then? I don't remember what he would have been so worried about, but I don't know. Whenever he was super popular, I remember him like getting up there and making a big deal about how he was anti-gun. So how do I get to DLD's thing on Instagram? Do you know? Are you following his thing?
I do not.
All right. So basically, though, the way I'm seeing this is Gizzard was first on the Born in the USA one.
Yep.
And gets the lyric also. So the Gizzard is now definitely winning unless we figure out how to get DLD's thing. I'm going to try to
Gary with the hat trick there. I think that brings him up to 6 points on this one.
Yeah, it doesn't show up if I type that in there, so I don't know how to do it. I'm trying to. Go ahead.
The honor system, I believe DLD.
So this one, I don't know this song. And this one is a tough one because I'm going to have to say, I'm going to give DJ the lyrics, right? And then he'll say the lyrics, and it'll be the first for this one specifically. Whenever he says them, it'll be the first one to know the name of the song and the artist.
All right, then. I am not going to be delivering any of these in voice. These are going to be read as lyrical poetry. So, happiness is a warm gun. And go. This should be easy for a lot of folks out there. I'm expecting to see Gizzard Gary type that in quickly.
Oh, you're not going to say the rest of it? There's like a whole bunch there.
If you would like me to, I can. Otherwise,
we got lag and everything. I'm still trying to figure out how to get DLD's thing on Instagram. It won't. I put in DLD and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't go anywhere.
I'll check out the quick fire on Roy Munson out there. He's got it, and I'll give the rest of the lyrics now. Happiness is a warm gun, bang, bang, shoot, shoot. It repeats, happiness is a warm gun, mama, when I hold you in my arms and I feel your finger on on your trigger. There it is. So Roy is out there with Beatles. Happiness is a warm gust.
So I guess I didn't really say because there's no way to get 2. So there's no way to get 3 on that. So we'll just give them the 2 for getting the answer right, I guess. Because we're making this up as we go along. You can sue us. Yeah, I'm not being able to find it on Instagram. So if somebody knows how to figure out how to get that over there, then we'll be able to see. Otherwise, there is that challenge for the first one on Instagram to get some kind of a gun music thing or a gun song. And then the YouTube, same thing. What about, nobody's going to know that one. How about this one? How are we going to do this one? Because this one it's tough when the name of the song is the thing. Are you familiar with this one? I would think that a lot of people have to be as familiar with because of the caliber choice in it. But why don't we try having DJ say the lyrics of this one, and then the first one to come up with the artist and song title will get 2 points.
All right, then. Everything around me, 2 Glock times, any motherfucker whispering about mines. And I'm Crooklyn's finest. You rewind this. Bad boys behind this. I hesitated the language there.
Smeared up the first one. Don't worry about the language, but you smeared up the first part. I don't think anybody heard about the first line there.
All right, everything around me, 2 Glock times, any motherfucker whispering about mines.
He's saying 2 Glock 9s.
9.
It sounds like you said 2 Glock mines. I don't know. It just sounded muddy. So everything around me, 2 Glock 9s. So
you would include that. The mention of 9mm is usually aberrant.
We're looking for the name of the song and the artist. Now, if you decide to help other people by giving them the name of one or the other, then there you go. Have I ever seen the Savage Model 69 Series E? I don't know. Probably. If it's a gun, I imagine I've seen it before, right? Do you know anything about the Savage Model 9 Series E?
I do not.
I'm looking at it, a picture of it, and it's a Savage shotgun, which I've never owned. It looks like it's a bottom loader, whatever they call it. I'm used to having a side ejection port place to shove stuff in. Or no, I'm not. What am I saying? On a Remington, it's underneath, isn't it? I don't know. It kind of looks like a Remington, I guess. But I don't know anything about it. I'm not a big shotgun person, so unless it's like I had to deal with it, I haven't dealt with it. And we got DLD. So I think, let me go look. I'm going to use the StreamYard as the, what am I trying to say? Like the actual thing what am I trying to say? I'm going to use the order that they come in on StreamYard, not YouTube, because I know they're different. So the first one to come in was Crump saying Biggie, and then DLD said Biggie, and then Roy said Biggie Smalls, and then DLD said Who Shot Ya?
Mm-hmm.
And then DLD said Biggie Small, Who Shot Ya? So I'm going to take that at 10:01 as the first complete answer. So that'll go to DLD. What we say, 2 points there. You're going to take a second here. DJ, you have all these memorized. You know how many points everybody's got?
I'm keeping track as best I can. Right now, I've got, and I'll throw these out there. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've got Gizzard Gary at 6. I've got Roy at 5. I got DLD with 5 as well.
Okay, I'm wrong. So Gizzard got 1 off the bat for doing something, whatever Roy got 2 for. So that makes Gizzard 6, 7.
Then I will adjust.
And then what did you say for Roy? I got him for 3, 5, 7. Is that what you said?
I do now.
2 for the first, 3 for the one, and then 2 for the other one. DLD's got 3 plus 2, so 5. Is that what you had?
I do.
Okay, so that's where we're at. So here's the deal. We're having a tactical quiz. Unlike a lot of shows that don't challenge people who hang out at the shows. We're offering all kinds of fun and excitement, and anybody can participate. If you're listening to this in the future, listening to this overnight, doing some kind of shift work on some kind of a drive, listening to this in detention or whatever, then hopefully this is entertaining as well. I'd rather do these in a way that doesn't offer the answers right away, but that's a little tougher for the live people. So we do have quite a few live people joining in tonight, and we're doing this one with the answers right away. So let's go. So we're gonna go back up to the poll. We've got 14 votes. You want to talk about these for a second and give me a chance to get a refill on my drink here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you see them?
So out there in that best gun song on this list, that is, I got first one, Don't Take Your Guns to Town. Right now in the poll, it's got 7%. Remember, toss your votes in here as you come in the room. Give Me Back My Bullets, Leonard Skinner checking in. That number 2 choice is at 36%. Saturday Night Special, imagine that. Skinner making 2 entries into this quartet of choices at 29%. And Jamie's Got a Gun at 29%. And I don't know who has voted for that as the best, but it is out there. And I also like to, I usually pride myself on how many bands I have seen. And that last one, Aerosmith, I have never seen Aerosmith in concert. Didn't have the opportunity to see the original lineup of Leonard Skinner, but the first year that they did the reunion tour, I checked them out and saw them 3 or 4 times afterwards. Johnny Cash, had never seen him as well. Would have liked to have. And that's actually a point of encouragement for anybody out there. If you're a music fan, go see live music. It's not only good for the soul, it's good for the spirit kind of thing, but it will erase some of those regrets. I definitely wish that I had been able to see the Man in Black perform. Big fan there.
There's a organization of musicians called Rage Against the Machine. They got a song called Bullet in the Head. You ever heard of it?
I have.
So what we'd be looking for is the first one to either come up with a valid lyric from the song, and then of course the one that comes up with the one that we're looking for. I don't know why I even do it that way. I probably did it that way because the first one came in was not the actual gun lyric, but I wanted to give Gizzard a point. And now we're giving everybody a point, even if they come up with any lyric from the song, which I don't even know what all the lyrics in the song are. So it's actually a dumb way to do it. So if you've ever heard of Rage Against the Machine, back in our day, you would wear flannel and you would rage against the machines. So let's say there was like a Slurpee machine or whatever, you would kick it and beat on it and yell at it or whatever. And they would give you your Slurpee, but you'd be pissed. This is the time the bullet cold rocked ya. Oh, snap. Is that a real lyric from it?
Yes.
Damn it. It's not the lyric we're looking for, but you're definitely getting a 1 point. That's John Crump coming in with 1 point. Because it's not the lyric we're looking for.
Crump on the board for 1.
Looking for that shit. Definitely not looking for that shit.
Well, that was and that's the opening line to that song, G. So I can imagine that those fingers were flying to get that answer in pretty quick. And as a side note about Rage, although they can be a divisive band for folks based on their politics, they as well are out on a tour. The whole Coco delay made them stay away, and that's a show that I have tickets for in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, coming up.
So that's the one we're looking for because it has stupid 9mm lyric in it. So it's probably weird. I mean, I didn't even read this before, but is that probably about some kind of horrible violence or something? So this is 2 points for DLD. It seems like this guy knows his song lyrics, or he's got a quick Google finger. I don't know about the nothing proper about your propaganda. That would be for like some kind of First Amendment chat where they have some kind of songs about propaganda and free speech. We don't go for that here. This is a gun chat. You had talked about a song called "Don't Take Your Guns to Town," but you already said who the author of that was or whoever.
I did. If people were paying attention.
There's a group who had 3 fat dudes with beards. Now, you might be thinking barbecue chat on Saturdays. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a music group from the 1980s. So we're going to get 1 point if they know the name of the group we're talking about, because that means they're old and they're just getting a point for being old. And then 3 points if they can throw a lyric up before somebody else. So there's Crump getting 1 point. I put a comma between them so he doesn't somehow get 11 points, somehow hacking my system here. Barbecue, valid attempt. So there's a song that is by the group that everybody already knows now. You don't even know the song, though. So now you have to come up with lyrics to a song where you don't even know the song. But you kind of do know the song, right? It's all gun lyrics, man. We're looking for gun lyrics. You don't get another point for just having that one. Do you know the song we're talking about, DJ?
I'm not sure, but I want to do a little quick corrective action, if I might. This band was formed in 1969, and they had stuff going on in the 70s, 80s, the 90s, performing well into the aughts and the teens. Recently lost their bass player, and I was able to see them within a few months after Dusty passed away. And
how about
seeing them? Go ahead.
I was just say read some of them lyrics then, so that because they're trying to come up with. Oh no, nope, forget it. You don't need now. You can if you want, because Crump just came up with it. What did I say? How many points was he going to get for that? I forgot.
He's got 1 out there for calling ZZ Top on the line, and is that another 2 points for grabbing that lyric, the correct one?
Is that what I said? I can't remember what I said, but yeah, definitely, yeah.
Do you believe that?
Yeah, gun love, right? So you got the lyrics over there.
I do. She likes to shoot her gun, shooting at the target of love. She likes to load her chamber, hot and tight like a black leather glove. She's a little freak, but she'll take you in. You might be sitting at the end of a firing pin. Nice.
I think I did say 3, so I'm giving them 3 points for that. So here's the question. Are y'all just know these lyrics, or you're looking it up really fast? The Night Chicago Died by Paper Lace has some interesting lyrics. First one to come up with the ones we're looking for is going to get 2 points. You heard of the song The Night Chicago Died by Paper Lace?
I have. I wouldn't have been able to remember the name of the band, though. Thank you for that.
Oh, I shouldn't have said that then. I could have used it as an alternative thing. Oh, that's what I should do. Use it like a tiebreaker. If we were doing this legit, we would use the tiebreaker if you know the name of the artist kind of thing, right? I put the lyrics over there for you. So I remember hearing that song a lot when I was a kid. So that must be a 70s song.
Somewhere in there, I do believe. I don't think it goes back into the 60s, and it wasn't the 80s. So, but yeah, let's settle down there in the 70s at some time. Somebody
Actually,
correct me
there's
if I'm
nothing
wrong.
about guns in here. The problem is I let Bob help with this. And I feel like this one is one of Bob's because there's actually, now that I'm reading it, there's absolutely nothing to do with guns in here. It's just a bunch of criminals being criminals in this one.
It does have something. It is firearm related though, G, because we're talking about some of the results that brought us 1934 in the NFA. Sorry.
What is that? What this is really about?
Well, it's about part of the reason that we have it. So I was trying to make sure that we had a relationship there, trying to give Bob a little credit for thinking creatively, perhaps.
Roy is saying he doesn't remember any direct gun references. Yeah, there's not. I'm blaming Bob for this one. See, that's why, when you trust a Canadian to come up with a gun lyric for a midnight, overnight technical quiz, this is what happens occasionally. So any lyric, I guess, we'll take for 2. Brother, Where the Night the People Saw. Is that the right song? I'll take it. So Crump gets another, what are we saying? 2 points for that? So that brings Crump up to 7 on my book. We're still looking for the first person to come up with some kind of a gun song type of thing on Instagram or on YouTube. The YouTube one, I mean, I guess at this point somebody could have posted it. I kind of figured somebody would link to something they already had quickly, but I'm guessing nobody had anything quickly. You can ask one of the mods and they'll help you link to something if you need it. You already talked about the poll. Let's see. This one is pretty easy. So let me do this. I'm going to take this and give it to DJ over here. And then, that song. How would we describe the song in such a way that would be you'd have to know the trivia so that you'd know what lyric to go get. Because I can't just say the name of this one, either one. I can't say either name. I'd have to say something like, this was the theme song to some movie. What movie was it the theme song to? Do you know?
I do. Yeah,
Okay,
that'd be a good one.
Do it, say it that way then. So what DJ's going to tell you what he's going to say, it's going to be the first one to give us the lyric, period. There's no 1 point on this one. There's only one lyric. Okay, go ahead.
So I'm offering them the title of the film?
No. The title of the film that this is what I just said, what are they called? Dang it.
Like a theme song. Absolutely. So that film is Easy Rider. You're going to have to run through the lyrics. Yeah. We're going to run through the lyrics in your head. Keep going, folks. You'll get it.
Okay, so then with that, I'll try to catch up on these. So pull up my EG post. I posted like 20 minutes ago. You can screen share. Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to say I can't get it on there. I don't see it. Get Crump to link me to it. There's allegedly some kind of DLD Instagram post, and I'm not seeing it. And then we got, but we're looking for the lyric. We're looking for the lyric. That is obviously the lyric we're looking for. Would POD's Youth of the Nation count as lyrics that involve guns? I don't know what that is. What's that one?
I know the song.
What is it? Do I know
Youth
it?
Of the I'm not sure what your listening habits are. G?
Sounds old.
You may have recognized it.
What's POD?
I'm not sure what POD stands for.
Okay, that's not like just some short way of saying some brand. I don't know what it is. Okay, so I don't know what that is then.
Not a big enough fan to know the backstory on the name. Just used to hearing the radio announcer.
There we go. Fire all your guns at once. So the song was. You're supposed to say that song.
Born to be Wild.
And then what did I do? Oh, I'm putting it over here. So what do we say? That was just plain 2. All right, Crump's coming in and sweeping everybody up. What is Barbecue sleeping or something? Usually he's good at quizzes. We don't even have one on the board from Barbecue. Gizzard is probably half asleep, but he's not. Let's see. We got Roy at 7. We got Gizzard at 7. We got DLD at 6, 7, right? And Crump at 2, 4, 7, 8, 9. Crump just came in and is winning off everybody.
He just dusted off that 4-way tie. Way to go, Crump.
Happened. So we got 5 points out there for this. DLD is not able to somehow post it somewhere else and give us a link. I got mines. I got locals. I got all the different ones. How about somebody that can post on the YouTube? What am I trying to do? Let's give them another challenge. Oh, I know. Somebody that posts on YouTube somehow that they can get us to link to some kind of acknowledgement and shout out to Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Boom. That's music.
Gee, I need a little clarification for the audience and myself. Is that something that exists already, or is this a fresh post with that?
Either one. There was no qualification, so either one. Thanks for asking. Yeah.
That's going to be a big one. That might be. You consider giving some extra points for that, because that's a pretty tall order there. That's not just lyrics that you might have rattling around in your head, so to speak.
Yeah, because that's given a shout out to Riding Shotgun with Charlie. We'll give 7 points for this one. Somebody could be on the board with just this one physical challenge, or it could that one of the existing contenders could to dominate Crump, or Crump could dominate everybody else. This is the kind of nail-biting excitement that happens every week on the Tactical Quiz. And what are they playing for today? I don't even know. Probably something good. So we got a bunch of people playing. Emails. I don't really want to check emails in the middle of all this. So how about the mines or one of them, locals? Get somebody to click it. Because they're just saying he's kind of hampered by his home internet is down. Oh, playing with one hand, one wing tied behind his back. I understand what that's like. I'm not going to complain about that. Because I normally have to complain about that.
And Gizzard Gary, welcome to my world. Working off of, as many of you might know out there, I work from phones consistently and constantly, and it is a bit of a drag, Gary. It's a bit of a drag, but come on, man, you got this. You got this.
Let's see. We're only taking the one lyric from now on. None of this 1 point for the first one to come up with a lyric. That seems a little bit too much like we're helping people with their feelings or whatever. Crump is saying he's got something posted. So I guess we're going to jump over to there. But, what was I going to do? I was going to do... how am I going to do this one, DJ? How about this? Same thing as the last one. If we talk about it, it'll be pretty easy to know the lyric, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's that one lyric, right? So what's the best way to describe this one?
Wow, well, we were out in grunge land earlier in some references, and so that'll start to set the framework for folks. Dial it in a little bit more, and we'll say Washington State. Now we got the band going on here. This was a huge radio hit. Geffen Records. Is it starting to feel familiar, folks?
I mean, that wouldn't have helped me, but I don't know a lot about these things.
It's the opening line. How about that? And let's see. What if I give maybe the chorus to help folks along with this? Hello, 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 how low? Yeah, it might not help you much, but if you have that ringing in your head, just repeat that. It should come to you. First line, folks. That's what we're looking for.
On the live when he said, or on news? I never go to news. I have to go find news over here.
I checked on John Crump Live and I didn't see anything, and I did think to check the community tab, and I didn't see stuff on either one of those. So
I can news. He said news. I'm jumping over to news.
Okay, gotcha.
There we go.
Baron SVG is out there giving us some humor for the evening. Washington State has music. Yes, indeed, Baron.
Oh, Crump again. Load up on guns and bring your friend. Well, you can say the lyrics.
Yeah.
So what did we say that one was? Or what did we say
We're not. You said that there was no more, first strike. It's going after the lyrics specifically. It's direct answers, and I believe you said for 2 points. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I think we said the first one to do shout out to Riding Shotgun with Charlie gets 7.
7.
All right, now we have to get reckless. Now we have to just do this in a way that allows other people to be in the running. So let's just go through the points again. You're allowed to participate, even though you don't have to be registered. You don't have to be a Patreon, even though we do have a scroll going at the bottom of the screen to thank our Patreons for giving us the time to to vote to projects like this. Roy is participating. He has gotten 3 wins, if my calculations are correct, and we're talking a total of 7 at this point. Gizzard also 3 wins, total of 7 also, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we get DLD, 1, 2, 3, 4 wins at this point, total of 7. Then Crump with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins, and a total of 10, 16, 17, 18. 18. Hunt and love, what is all that? I don't know what that part is. Do we have any outstanding ones? We have an outstanding Instagram challenge that, here, look, DLD. What am I supposed to type in over here? I type in DLD, and look what it gives me. Your shadow band or whatever. I get DLD dance, DLD defense. What did he say his thing was?
Check this out. Coming into the text chat right now, DLD saying that he uploaded to his channel, his YouTube channel. So I can go ahead and go out there and grab that. And there it is, 34 seconds ago.
Okay. So that is what? What is it?
I'm checking that out now. I need to mute up, or we're going to have some difficulty there. I'm thinking that might be the Riding Shotgun with Charlie link. Let me check.
Oh, so you're saying there's a timestamp on his. This one says 2 minutes ago.
And I was wrong about that. That wasn't the Riding Charlie shout out. That was the reference to the Ice-T or the Ice Cube song.
Okay.
Got the Smith and Wesson lyric out there on that. Good job, okay. DLD.
So that's the gun or the IG challenge goes to DLD. So now, because he's been trying to get that across for a bit. So then we were at 12 with DLD, 18 with Crump, Gizzard and Roy with 7. So what's a number? 9 keeps people in the game. So no, 7 would keep people. How many more times are we going to play? We've been playing for about an hour. I need to get some feedback from the audience out there. Is everybody about to go to sleep, or is everybody in this to win this? What are we playing for tonight?
Don't know yet. Maybe that'll get people to stick around. I encourage everyone to stick around. This is a blast. Come on, y'all.
All right. So with that being said, turning off the screen cap share because it's weird and I don't like it. And Crump is taken off, so that means a lot of people are going to have an advantage over him. They're going to be able to take advantage of his leaving. All right, so because the thing is I couldn't go back over here and say that, let's say we had a song called, none of these are even that good. One of the songs in the poll right now is Saturday Night Special. It's not winning. How about the lyric from Saturday Night Special that's so famous? First one, 7 points.
All right, then. That's big. 7 points is big. And you know,
Crump, pretty easy lyric, right?
I believe so as well. And Crump is out there saying that he's about to crash soon. But Crump, this is really a case of if you snooze, you lose, man. And you're in the lead right now.
7 points to Saturday Night Special by who's the singer of Saturday Night Special?
That's Leonard Skinner.
So what's the deal? There's a band called 38 Special. You're a fan of that group?
Can't say I was a fan, but same genre, and got some family related between those two bands there. And yeah, they were an 80s staple in pop radio for a while.
Oh, their Gizzard just gave up, and Crump just took another, what was that? 7 points? Now it's not even possible. All they had to type in was "got a barrel that's blue and cold," which is fairly simple. I mean, that's pretty much the only lyric in that song. But people are sleeping. It's late.
So that's Crump jumping up to 25 with that 7 point correct answer.
Yeah. Wow. And all we got is Roy and DLD at this point, and Gizzard just stepped out. Roy hasn't chatted in a bit, so he could be lagging. So I think we're going to give this one to Crump, and we'll, for first time place, I think what we'll end up doing is, since Crump's a big Wolverine fan, we'll get out a bunch of Wolverines over here. Hold on, let me get that colored set of Wolverines real quick.
Well, Gene, I certainly hope, if you're still in earshot, that this kind of quiz, the musical quiz, comes back around again. I've suspended. I've won tactical quizzes a few times and retired out from competition, but it is really fun to be able to do to mix two things that I love so much, firearms and music. I dig it a lot. And we got Bear and SVG out there saying Insomniacs Unite. Yeah, Wonder Twin Powers activate. Form of an all-nighter. Absolutely. And if it wasn't for having some of the music in the background as I'm doing stuff through the wee hours of the morning, it would be a really boring life. I mean, think about that. Music and what it contributes to life for all of us. It's not just a means of entertainment. Some might think that from that poll that we're a little bit heavy on the Leonard Skinner this evening. I wouldn't disagree. I wouldn't disagree. There are some bands out there that have more references to firearms in their production. Maybe they'll be pollsters if there is another edition.
Is Crump still out there?
He'd have to respond. He was just out there just a few minutes ago.
So we'll see if I can get that. That's working, right? Yeah. So if he's still out there, we can let him choose from the Tutti Frutti Rainbow crew of Wolverines. So let me bring this up bigger. Right on. So yeah, grab your pick of the Wolverine. What am I clicking on? This.
And he is out there.
Why doesn't that give me full screen? When I can't even have my own full screen, it's got to give me that stupid border around there. So yeah, we made these 3D printed Wolverine patches, and this is from Foss, who decided not to do a mouse party tonight. Allowed us to go late. This was some of that filament that changes color as you print. So you got some almost green to some blue to some purple to almost brown. In fact, I think these two are out of place. So he's saying your pick. How about DJ? Which one are you picking?
The deepest blue.
The deepest blue? This one?
There you are.
All right, you're getting this blue one. Right on. Thanks for everybody for playing and participating in another attempt at getting a gun game show. Have some firearms fun and a way to talk about pop culture a little bit. Somebody else that's doing the same or something similar is Barbecue, who was out here a little bit earlier doing the book reviews. Do you know, what is that, the 21st?
Oh, for the inaugural session of the book club on the Guns and Barbecue channel?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are correct.
So we'll be reading, our people that are interested in reading Glock America's Gun, pretty awesome book. Barbecue's going to be having like a book club, and that's the first book in it. And I don't know if anybody else has got anything like that going on out there, but what we try to do on this show on Wednesdays is talk about guns in pop culture, and part of that is the guns, or I mean the books and the movies, and maybe even the video games. I'm pretty up to date on the video games. It's pretty hard to find something about video games I'm not a master of or completely aware of. So we're going to probably bring a lot of that to the table on Wednesdays. Let's see. So everybody's saying thanks or congratulations to Crump coming in here. I'm not going to say he mopped the floor with everybody, but I'm just saying he mopped the floor with everybody. That was pretty impressive. We back in the day when we would do the tactical quizzes, somebody might want to, for 5 free points in a future tactical quiz, go back and find one of the tactical quizzes where Angry just came in and wiped the floor. I think there might even have been a while there where we were doing like Stump Angry because he knew so many gun-related trivias. He might just be a trivia person in general, and the gun stuff is just in there with everything else. Or he just knew a lot of gun, trivia. But This was reminiscent of those days. Do you got a movie, a gun movie to chat about tonight since you're in here?
You know, we've covered many of them in past DGSs and back chats, and even on the tactical quizzes. I got to pass. I'm going to pass out there to. How about I pass out there to those that are left in the text chat, and then you can make the masterful decision about one that might be up for discussion. We've already had mention of Wolverines, which is of course a reference to Red Dawn, and those patches are absolutely cool. G, that doing a 3D print and then backing them with Velcro, genius. Really dig that.
So, what was the last gun movie you seen?
Well, do blasters count as guns?
Yeah.
Okay, then it would have to be. I regret to say it, Solo. I don't see many films, G.
Why do you get to say that? Solo's an awesome movie. Who doesn't like Solo?
Because I'm actually like an OG Han Solo kind of guy, and I just didn't. There were too much of it. I just didn't have an appreciation for. Perhaps it bears repeated viewing. I did only see it the one time in the theater, so maybe I'll double back and check it out again.
Wait, you've seen it in the theaters?
Yes, sir.
So the last movie you seen was a million years ago?
Well, the last movie that I could say had firearms in it. The last movie I saw, I went on a date, saw a rom-com in the spring.
I was going to say, you're going to watch your rom-coms or whatever. The last Hallmark movie you've seen? All right. Well, then, okay. Well, then.
Barron's out there with a good one.
I like it.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. It was, it wasn't great or nothing, but it was better than a whole bunch of the Star Warses. So, Crump is saying Terminal List. That's one I would probably pick because I'm trying to think. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on trying to learn some stuff. So I haven't really been watching too many movies, but I did watch that Terminal List to see what it was all about, and it's pretty good. I liked it. They definitely, and I think I already mentioned this in past shows, but they took the time. Well, the guy who wrote it is special operations, so a SEAL or something. So he took the time to include the plight of special operations and just the situations that happen when you send very few people in to do a lot of things instead of a lot of people to do everything, which, nothing's perfect. Everything has its casualties. The casualties are just different when there's fewer people. So definitely, an interesting show to watch, but the parts that they put into it, the parts that is Jack Carr, I think is his name, included in there, were epic. They're just awesome. Nothing to do with weapons handling or any of that. I mean, some of that's in there, I guess, but the idea that they bring light to some of the situations and issues that special operations have and just the military has in general, in a kind of way that makes it more normal. It normalizes some of the concepts like mental health awareness, for example. So just really cool. Like it woke in the best way, I guess you could say. And then it's also just an interesting show. It's a little.
Check that out.
It's worth watching. Yeah. Unless you hate that guy from Parks and Rec. Some people hate that guy, and he's in it. So I mean, you can't not watch him in it. And he definitely seems a little like. I mean, I probably could have picked a different actor, but he's okay. I mean, he's not bad. It's just that I remember him as being that comedy guy from Parks and Rec. So every once in a while he'll turn around, and I'm waiting for the joke or whatever.
I will be free of any kind of prejudice because I don't know Parks and Rec at all. So.
Well, really? You don't like comedy shows?
Say again?
You don't like comedy shows?
It's not that I don't like comedy shows. It's that I haven't had a television plugged in anywhere that I've lived in a decade. So.
No, I think this is way older than that. Is it? It's since Seinfeld. I don't know. It's an old show. It's back when I was watching TV. I don't remember. So yeah, it's just like maybe I don't remember. It was a long time ago though. Anyway, it was a pretty funny show. Big Easy saying the answers are way off, but thankful to have found the channel again after 12 years. Right on. Yep. Thanks for finding us and hanging out. Baron is saying Last of the Mohicans.
That's a great movie on a lot of different levels. Interesting as an historical narrative. You got lots of black powder going on in that film, and that's in the '90s somewhere. Daniel Day-Lewis, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, played the character Hawkeye.
It says 1992. I'm going to go to
Hmm.
Wikipedia because everything there will be correct.
Yeah, Daniel
Uh,
Day-Lewis came to prominence based on I think he actually pulled um, the Oscar award for Best Actor from the film My Left Foot, which was pretty good. Started out as mostly released in art houses, but then saw a popular and wide release. Thanks, Baron, out there confirming that the character played by Daniel Day-Lewis was Hawkeye.
nope, I must have not seen it or I don't remember it because I'm reading the thing about it and it doesn't ring a bell. At first, I was thinking of something else, I think. Apiciligo or Apoliligo or something. Apocalyptico. Apocalyptic. You know that
Oh,
one?
Apocalypto. Ah,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah, I saw that one as well. Don't remember a heck of a lot about it though. But Last of the
No
Mohicans,
words. No words.
I
Like real Indian, like native, like, whatever you call indigenous. Like no words. Just guy getting basically his ass kicked by a bunch of people that don't even talk to him. Just like wail on him the whole movie. He's running through the jungles trying to get away from like the Aztecs or the Spanish or something, or maybe both. I forget. It's been a while. He's just some indigenous guy hanging out in South America, and then he starts getting his ass kicked by all these people that are, making a town or whatever they were doing. That one, you remember that one? You have to
I
watch it.
do
There's like
I
no
do know
words.
that I've seen it. Part of what you're saying is familiar to me, but I'm more familiar with Last of the Mohicans, and part of that is also because in elementary school I read the book by James Fenimore Cooper. There was enough distance in between having read it and seeing the film that had sort of brain dumped on whether or not it was accurate to the film, or the film was accurate to the book or not.
Baron saying takes place during the French and Indian War, so
Yep,
between the Revolution and the Civil War, right? Or is that before the Revolution even?
that's pre, isn't it?
What?
That's pre. It's in the middle of the 18th century.
So
Yeah,
it's
if I
before the
remember. Yeah,
Revolution.
yes, sir.
Okay. So yeah, I don't think that would have been definitely something. I don't think I watched that one. I only barely watched The Patriot, like not that long ago. I didn't know what it was. So I don't watch movies about, uh, that are about the olden days just for the sake of saying stuff from the olden languages and stuff. And you know what I mean? Like whatever they call those period pieces.
Period films. Yeah,
I'd rather watch one of those shows where they live like back in the day and then talk about what it's like to have to cut wood with a weird saw or whatever than watch some fiction where they ignore all the actual things that were interesting about the old days. They put a bunch of effort into the costumes and stuff, but then nobody ever, like, everybody just takes a bath. Like everybody's just got brushed teeth. Like it just looks wrong and weird.
yeah, agreed.
So anyway, I just don't bother paying too much attention. But at the same time, it's not like movies cost nothing. So if I find out about a good one, I appreciate it. And that's why we talk about stuff like this, because I figure most youngins have never seen a good movie, right? They haven't figured it out yet. And old people forget about good movies. So we tell each other about good movies, then somebody out there is getting the benefit of that. Let's see. So we talked about a bunch of stuff, and oh, that only took an hour. I thought we were a lot longer than that. I thought we were sitting at like 2 hours or something for some reason. Full Metal Jacket was a great movie. Comedy, and shows how bloody work could be. I mean, it was a huge humor, I guess. I don't know if I'd call it a comedy. Um, yeah, I like Full Metal Jacket. It's a pretty good one. It's definitely
I,
two movies.
yeah, I definitely am a fan of that. I'm also a big Stanley Kubrick film fan as well. That's one of his. Yeah,
It's not my favorite. It's a Marine movie, but it's pretty neat.
there are very few people that are not affected by having seen that film in some way, and some quite significantly. I can remember seeing the closing scenes, the Way City the conclusion to that in theater, and I'm not going to say traumatized, but it was a deeply affecting scene. But
Here's
most
the
of it,
deal: everybody's seen Full Metal Jacket in whatever year that was, and then you enlist and you go to basic, and they were like, "Hey, you want to grab your stuff and head over here?" Like, they were just like 100% nicer, 1,000% nicer. Like, they didn't do anything near what they did in that movie. Like, they kind of yelled occasionally or something, but for the most part, when it's an all volunteer situation, they know everybody's there for a reason, right? Everybody showed up to make a buck or to get to be there, so they don't really yell at you that much. Maybe in the Marines more than that, but that was a eye opener. All of us were kind of like, are they going to start yelling at us like in that movie?
yeah.
But that was long time ago when people were being drafted and having to be immediately ready for war. It's a little different when pretty much nobody thinks anything's about to happen.
Yeah, far closer to the term slapped into shape. And R. Lee Ermey, my God, what a great character. I do you remember the name of the drill sergeant? I remember the actor. I remember so much about it. I don't remember what his name actually was in the film. But
No, it's a Marine movie. I didn't pay that much attention to it. But
right.
I met him a few times. One time we went to SHOT Show and figured out that people wait in line to see him. So then we got media passes. So we're like, well, there's no point in having media passes and not using them. So we snuck into the SHOT Show early one year and then went over to his booth and then hung out. And we were still like fifth in line or something. Like we'd still getting there early and sneaking in. We were still waiting in line. And then the thing is, being fifth in line wasn't all that great because he didn't show up right at opening. It took him a little while before he even showed up or whatever. But the deal with him, and if anybody's ever been to SHOT Show or probably I can't imagine he's any different anywhere else. There's always a massive line. Like, I'm not even kidding, like a massive line to meet him. And you're like, why would people wait in a line like that? This guy would go like, hey, and talk to you for a bit, and he'd ask you what's going on, or he was interested in every single person that came up. I'm not even kidding, and not like in a fake way or nothing. Like, he was literally, I think, appreciative that so many people found use in what he brought him or whatever. And this was in 5, so it was after movies, and 5 or 6, I guess. That's 6, or it must have been 6 that we did this. So whenever we met him in 6, we got in there and we had him sign some Glock magazines that I had. Not magazines, but like periodicals, like books that, he was a Glock representative and he was at the Glock booth. And I was into Glock, so I figured, having him sign these Glock magazines would be super cool. Because normally he gives you this piece of paper with his face on it, and then he signs that, and you just have this piece of paper, right? I guess for framing it or whatever people do with it. But I was like, no, I'd rather have the magazines, right? So we go in there, we bring these magazines, we got it all figured out. And then we get up there, and like I said, there's a couple of people in front of us. What did they have? DVD for Full Metal Jacket. And I'm like, damn it, the hell was I thinking? Like, I definitely should have had them sign that, right? Like, that's 1,000 times better. And Glock doesn't bring those because Glock doesn't have any, they don't want, there's no Glocks in that movie. So, they didn't care, but they also didn't provide them or nothing. So, anyway, that's the first time I met him. And then I never waited in line to talk to him again or nothing. And then it must have been in 18. I didn't wait in line to talk to him, but Haas did because he's a Marine and stuff. So Haas would talk to him, I think, every year at SHOT Show. I don't remember. But I know that when we went around in 2018 and we were at Smoky Mountain Knife Works, you know where that is?
It's East Coast. I can't remember which state. Is it Kentucky?
It's in Tennessee, I think. Tennessee. But you know what I'm talking about, like a giant knife store, a really, really big knife store. I don't know if you've ever seen videos of it. It's almost like
Never
a tree
seen.
house.
Never seen.
Imagine Tennessee. It's right in front of Dollywood. It's on the way into Dollywood. So there's all these weird like factory outlets and skydiving places. It's like the craziest tourist places on the road into Dollywood. You come off the highway down into Dollywood, and you go past all these different things. So right next to the big cast iron like factory store is the Smoky Mountain Knife Works place, and it's on the side of a hill. So if you come in on the east side, you're coming in at, let's say, the top, and then you go in and you start going down and down and down. I don't know if you can come out at the bottom. I think you can come. There's another parking lot down below, so it's like on the side of a hill. So and it's not like one floor and two floors. It's like 13 floors or something. Like it's all like kind of organic. It's really weird. And there's all these terraces and balconies. So they took like a big giant building and put all these terraces in it and weird stairways and stuff that make no sense going back and forth to them. And then like swords will be on that terrace and like axes will be over there and other things will be over here. And there's almost, I don't think, you have to really spend some time there to like explore it all. And then you'd still miss things because there's nooks and crannies and it's not obvious. It's not like a grid. So it's just a really cool store. We're walking around enjoying the store or whatever. We're on this trip, exploring the United States, and I'm on my way to meet the people that improved the AA-12. So I forgot how it went, but we had all the time in the world because we were way early, right? So we're farting around at the store because it was something to do while we're waiting for this appointment. And Arlie Ermry's standing there. And it turns out he's about to be doing some kind of meet and greet the next day, but he's just there the day ahead of time farting around and looking around the store. And then Haas is a Marine and he's a Marine and they remembered each other. So they sat there and like chatted for like, I don't know, forever. And then because they were both not doing anything, right? So that's how I remember him as dude. Can you imagine how many people this guy meets? He's in Smoky Mountain Knife Works, right? In 2018, in like, we did this trip in like October, right? So nowhere near SHOT Show. Dude, old Ari Lee Emery turns to his right, sees Haas standing there like a little puppy Marine looking at his freaking boss Marine or whatever they call each other, right? And he goes, "Hey, Haas," or something like that, or what he said his name. And I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And they sat there chatting for a while. So that dude remembered Haas, dude.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's not like I don't think they had done anything together. It's just that, I don't know, Marines remember each other. They can do something, some kind of Marine magic or something.
I lost track after this Full Metal Jacket was the late 80s, if I remember correctly. And that was the first time I had seen him or heard of him. In between then and the early 2000s, he had that History Channel program, actually, like a couple of them, I think.
Yeah,
Mail Call. That was a really good program. His personality came through. He wasn't near as intense as that DI, but good sense of humor, like neat information, and anytime he was like handling equipment, he wasn't pretentious. He was a regular kind of guy, like a legitimate dude. I didn't have the pleasure of meeting him, but would have enjoyed having been able to do so.
So Big Easy saying, I haven't seen Platoon, but I've heard it's a decent movie. Yeah, Platoon's better than Full Metal Jacket's Army, so it's got to be better. I used to love the Mail Call bloopers. I don't remember, or maybe was that at the end of the show? I didn't watch the show that much because it was so basic. Like, hey, here's a 1911, and it's interesting, but I don't need to know what I was going to sit there watching what 1911 was. And that was back in the days of TV, so it wasn't the internet. Dial up whatever you want. If you were watching this, it means you weren't watching that back in the day, right? And I didn't have an endless VCR, so if there was something on and there was something on at the same time, guess what? I wasn't watching whatever was on against the stuff I did watch. You know what I mean? So if you watch this show, then every other show that was on at that time, you had no idea about it because you weren't watching that. And some shows had reruns, I guess. I shouldn't say that, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, that was back in an era where I was in a place that had a television plugged in, and I don't remember tuning into every episode kind of thing, but the remote control that I had back in those days had a button called Channel Check, and I would bounce back and forth, and my right thumb would hover above the number pad as well, and I knew what my hot channels were, 55, 54, 35, 38, and I just like punching them during commercials. And sometimes I miss the programs. I kind of, I'm a little bit, I think I'm nostalgic for that time, and the consumption of media in that way. Because you're right, if you weren't watching it, you were missed out on anything else. And I didn't DVR back then or any of those things. And now it's quite easy. I might have to dig out some of that stuff based on Roy's suggestion that the outtakes were good. I don't, or the bloopers. I don't remember those specifically. I think I might check those out tonight.
So well, that's the thing. Now you can just watch anything on the internet because it's just all on YouTube or whatever. But back then you would you'd have your mail call. That was like on HBO, or I don't know, not HBO, but Discovery Channel or History Channel or something like that.
History Channel, yes.
Those kind of channels only have like 8 shows, and they play them over and over. But if it was like on NBC, and it was like the primetime show on NBC or CBS or something, like you got to see it on reruns in 6 months. But you had to either watch it or see you hear about it from your friends, because there was no rerun on nothing. And that was, I don't know, that was up until the internet decided to just let everybody, or I don't remember when that was, but at some point all the what are those called, networks, started to put their own shows on their own websites, and then they figured out, well, this costs a ton of money and nobody watches the stuff when they have to log in over here. So then they just said, forget it, put it all on YouTube.
I don't remember specifically about History Channel, but I do remember about Discovery. The folks in programming there made a really good choice when you would have the ability before the primetime slot started at 7 p.m. to perhaps see a previous episode leading into the primetime slot. And so you could catch up if you missed it the previous week. You could watch the one that was the last week, and then sit down for the current one following right after that. And also I also remember on some of those networks and channels that they would, on the off nights, the off peak evenings, they'd also do like marathons and whatnot. And weekends were also ripe for that. So sometimes leading up to, say, season finales, you could marathon in 12 episodes coming into the last one.
I would watch, I forget, like Hallmark Channel and weird channels in the middle of nowhere on the dial would do like, just whatever, like name a show, like A-Team Marathon on the Hallmark Channel, because they could, I guess, or something. So yeah, I remember that a couple of times. Actually, there was a period of time there when I was doing a bunch of database work where I definitely liked having cable, because I could do that, like sit there and watch whatever, like Rockford Files. I've seen every single Rockford Files like 4 times. It's freaking awesome. Back in the days when I had to sit there doing stuff, and then boom, thanks whatever channel, having Rockford Files on endlessly. It's freaking great.
Yeah, one of my favorites, not original network, but Fox began to do the syndicated reruns of MASH. And for a while there were 2 different affiliates that I could get signal for, and they would have them. I could watch like 4 hours of MASH a day if I chose, and some days I did. I'd like to be able to take care of the.
I remember when you could. I mean, there's other shows like that, but I can remember MASH because for some reason everybody liked it so much that it would be on like 4 or 5 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody complained forever. Like it would be on in the morning for some reason. There would be a couple of them in the afternoon, and then there'd be like 3 at night, and not on the same channel, but like different channels would buy MASH or whatever. And dude, I've never liked MASH. I liked the movie MASH. After a long time, I saw the movie MASH, and I was like, oh shit, I like this. But oh man, MASH to me was like punishment. If I had like, when I was in trouble, they'd make me watch MASH because I would leave. And I've seen it a million times. I mean, I've probably seen every episode 70 times. It was on everywhere. But I think that's one of the reasons I hated it, because I'm like, I fucking memorized every freaking episode. I hate this show already.
Yeah, that the ability to, within a few moments, not even minutes, of the opening scene, once the episode actually began, being able to know exactly what the episode was. And sometimes I do a wave off because I'm not particularly interested in that one. But for real, I was such a fan that often I would. Klinger episodes became, because they were almost always going to be a laugh riot until the later seasons. Anything with Klinger in it was going to be funny, and so sometimes I would just stick around for those.
That's what I'm saying, though. At some point, that Alan Alda guy was like, you know what? Lecture time. Here's what I think about everything. Like, guess what? You're going to hear what I think about everything. I'm like, come on, man. Make a show about army crap, and then you just sit here lecturing us about whatever your feelings are.
Well, that was sort of like, I think, maybe less the actor himself than the series developers and writers.
Oh no, it was
Richard,
his show. Wasn't that the whole thing? Is like he was the boss and he was the writer and he was the producer. I thought that's how it went down.
he had portions of that. And going back to your reference to the film, the Robert Altman film, I really, really dug that, and I wish that elements of that had remained in the series. But there was a laugh track,
I
and
only
so
watched it for like Radar, period. And then
Radar.
some Colonel, the old Colonel who had the horse.
Potter, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Radar was like pretty funny. And like the whole deal where like, he just took care of shit because that's Army. Like that's how it is. Like there's the 18 people that do everything and then the thousands of people that sit around watching them, take credit for it or just, get paid.
Yeah, and the development of the series, well, the film and then the series, is based on books, and not a lot of people know that there were MASH books. And I'm not just talking about the kind of thing where a paperback would come out as based on the film doing well. And there wasn't a series of books based on the series, the television series. But Richard Hooker is the author. That's a nom de plume. But there are a good bunch of books out there, and part of the reason that the whole Alan Alda thing worked out the way it did is the main character of the original books is Hawkeye Pierce. So
Oh,
Gene,
that goes back to Last of the Mohicans, and you're talking about Hawkeye. That's the same Hawkeye. That's who he's named.
that is, he says in MASH the series that is whom his father named him after. Yeah, absolutely.
I think they say in the movie. I think they say in the movie pretty quick too.
Oh, do they as well?
You know what? Does the movie open with something like that? I think it's been a long time. I might actually watch MASH the movie.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I've checked it out. I should do that again myself. So
it's not. It's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's the best movie or nothing, but it is pretty good. And it was made at a time when they had all the Korean War stuff, so it is hot for Korean War stuff. Like they literally had it all, and it was all the guys that knew what everything was, and all the people, I should say, a lot of women in Korea. But you know what I mean? Everybody was totally comfortable with it because they had all just been there. And then the other thing about MASH that was kind of cool, and one other reason I hate MASH is because of this. Trapper John MD. That would have been so much better if that would have been a bigger part of Trapper John MD. Like if he was Magnum PI, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
That would have been awesome. If he was like, oh, I need to jump into some freaking cool MASH helicopter and go do something awesome and then come back and be a lame doctor again or whatever, soap opera. But then they also had that other show. So there was some spin-offs of MASH that, it was a big show.
Yeah, there were several spin-offs, and there was one that didn't make it past. I think that it wasn't the pilot; it was a first episode that did air, and then it was done.
The Klinger show only lasted like an episode, I think.
Yeah, after MASH had, I think, a couple of seasons. This was actually one that focused on radar, and
I
it
thought
was
the radar one is the one that lasted.
There might have been two. Gosh, I'm.
Radar was the one where Radar was like the investigator. Was he a private investigator or some shit? Or
I remember him in uniform. I thought maybe it was like security work or something like that.
Something like that. And then so some kind of a mystery, I think. And then Klinger's was like a bar, and then Trapper John was like useless. Somehow they were like, somebody told me, like my grandma or somebody was like, this is the guy from MASH. And I'm like, what? So I would watch that show waiting for the part to talk about MASH ever. And there might have been like one time when they mentioned it. Someone from MASH was in Good Morning Vietnam. Like just an actor or some character was supposed to be a pullover. I've never heard of that, but that would be interesting.
Nor have I. Where are you getting that?
Oh, Big Easy just said it right here.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, Baron is saying spin-off from Radar's character flopped and was canceled after one episode.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, and who was
Radar being? You know what would have been cool? Radar being Radar. Like that one show that was like kind of lame. The guy from England who would come over and get rid of your bullies or whatever. Without guns, he would just drive his English car really fast around. He was like a English lame version of Knight Rider without guns.
I don't recall right now.
the apothecary. I don't know. There was some show where this like English butler would help you out, and he was like kind of like the A team. It would be like that. Radar would come up in a Jeep, right? And you'd have some kind of problem, and then Radar would come up in a Jeep, and he'd be like, "I know, I'm gonna sell 4 things of freaking lumber to some guy who's gonna sell fucking 4 bottles of something to some lady who's gonna get the vinegar that you need to solve this problem." That would have been awesome. Like a show where he just goes around, what's that called? Like trading or whatever.
Yeah. I did enjoy Trapper John M.D. I liked that one, and I also liked Elliot Gould's portrayal in the original film. I can't remember the name of the actor who starred in the television series, but that's one that I watched, and I didn't immediately have the association with MASH. Go ahead.
Didn't they kill him? There was Alan Alda. He was the lame one. And then there was his friend. And the one guy got sick of working with him. So he's like, I'm leaving. And they killed him. And then they brought the other guy in who was like just as bad as Alan Alda. I don't like the second guy at all. You know what I'm talking about? Like the friend of Alan Alda who gets drunk with him. And
I do recall.
I mean, that's basically a show about 2 alcoholic bullies who are also surgeons. And people are like, well, I guess it's okay for you to be an alcoholic bully all the time.
Well, and there was a wokeness in the later seasons, like the references we were making to Alan Alda earlier.
I'll do whatever I want. I'm an alcoholic bully. I'll do whatever I want. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to preach at you for all this stuff. Like that's like it was the worst show ever. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah. And here's the thing. I remember going to the Smithsonian one time. This has nothing to do with anything, but I went to the Smithsonian as a little kid, and the MASH tent was there, and I was like, okay, I could care less. But then you walked across it was on the same floor. So you walked like across the building from the lame MASH tent, as I remember. It might be upstairs now that I'm thinking about it. I might have had to go upstairs. And that's when the Smithsonian had all the guns out. So I have seen the Smithsonian collection before. Imagine the Natural History Museum, an entire floor of the Natural History Museum in the Smithsonian in DC. They haven't changed the buildings, right? They just changed around the interiors and the stuff in them out of the collections. So 1/2 of the Natural History Museum was guns all around the outside, lit up and down vertical racks, all around the whole perimeter, as far as I remember, all up and down into the rooms and stuff, like just the different eras and tons of guns. Like I never even got to see them all. And then in between, like in the middle of the rooms, was boats, like Navy ships that were like really detailed models that, you know, the government would own for the Navy, probably what the shipbuilder built to sell it to the Navy in the first place kind of thing, like a super detailed models of the boats that were, of all the boats, so everything from back in the day. I don't know what they're all called, you know, the old fashioned kind up through all the different stuff. So I didn't really pay too much attention to that other than to appreciate how much detail there was. I mean, obviously, if they're in the Smithsonian, it's like the ultimate of model boats or whatever the hell they are, salesman samples. But then all around the outside was guns. And then back in those days, MASH was so big that it was in the Smithsonian, like the MASH surgeon tent or like the surgery tent, you could walk through it. So I guess technically I've walked through one of the tents that they set up for that show. I'm sure they set up dozens because those tents probably cost them $200 or less back then.
Now, it wasn't the surgical tent. It wasn't anything quite as grand, but there was a Smithsonian roadshow of some of the MASH artifacts. And that came to the Strategic Air Command Museum when my father was working part-time as a docent. And I have the one picture that I wanted was of the post with all the different places, all the different cities where folks were from and the mileage it was to get to them from where they were in South Korea. Yeah, very, very iconic structure. Like, really dug that. And they had one small tent. It was like, it wasn't the swamp specifically, the surgeon's tent. It was like a generic kind of tent. But they had some other stuff, some uniforms and things that weren't as well, things that were not used specifically in the series, but were of that era.
Frank Burns was the best character. I could almost understand. I mean, I wouldn't agree, but I could see how somebody could say that because he was definitely having fun with the role compared to some of the other people, I think.
Not my favorite, but I can see why Larry Linville might be, it's the he was always the butt of the jokes, and like you're talking about, two alcoholics picking on somebody. Poor Frank Burns, and his replacement character was Charles Emerson Winchester the third,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And I enjoyed him a little bit more than I did Larry Linville's character.
Well, because he would not be as much of a bully. Like they got sick of being so mean to that guy. I guess it was cool to be mean to everybody in the '70s. Like that was the fucking way or something. Like look at all the movies from the '70s. It was all about being mean to people. So that was just probably the way the show started because that was the way everybody was. And then, you know, I don't know. I guess everybody got sick of it and said, "Hey, why are we doing this?
Yeah,
Why do you
one,
think everybody stopped being mean to people on uh, the regular? Was that society changed or something changed society?"
I don't know. Without thinking about it, gee, I
I
don't
think it's
know.
the growth. I think it's the growth of society. I don't think anybody changed it. I think it's just the awareness that, like, oh, wait a minute, why am I beating my kid? I don't have to beat my kid just because my dad beat me, kind of thing. Like, I think everybody, for a long time, everybody was just like, oh, you beat your kids because I got beat. Everybody just gets beat, right? I think that was just a thing. And I'm just getting that from like listening to the old people. Like my grandpa would be like, and then I got a whooping, like he would get
Mhm.
the crap beat out of him constantly, and he never touched my dad. And my dad never touched me, right? Like I'm pretty sure my grandpa was like, no, I'm breaking that cycle. Like, I'd get up in the morning and get beat. So I don't think that was because the whatever he would be, my great grandpa was an asshole as much as that was just the way things were done back then. Like if your kid wasn't being fast enough or whatever, you'd smack them. You know what I mean?
More culturally acceptable for sure, for sure, for sure.
It
Yeah.
was just the way to do it. Like, hey, come on, we need to get out of here. Smack. You got 8 kids. Like, you're going to start smacking them, I guess. So, anyway, I'm thinking that just ended, just because people are like, oh, you know what? It seems weird that I'm over here smacking my kids and nobody else is smacking their kids. And then once you quit getting smacked as a kid, you quit smacking your kids, right? So, I think it just kind of ends. Because I'm pretty sure that's where the bullying comes from, right? Being smacked around at home. I guess we got
Strong
deep on the
connection.
end of this one. Still the tactical quiz, so we'll get back from that. And best gun song in the poll is "Give Me Back My Bullets." So who's the? Well, I guess Crump already won, but for 20 points, who can be the first one to reply in the next 30 seconds with who the what do you call it? Who the author or who the singer
Artist,
of Give
the
Me Back
artist
My
will give me back my both. We told him who it was at the top of the show. So
Yeah.
anybody who's been here from the beginning, if you got a
Oh, you know
decent
what I
memory,
can do?
what's that?
I think I can do this. Oh no, I deleted it. I don't have my 30-second thing. All these people have their 30-second thing still in there. So we'll just give them a moment or two. I mean, you know what? We'll give them until this comes up. GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com. How many points did I say that was? Shit, I forgot what I said.
20, I thought.
20? Oh, shit. So if we give Roy 20, that would bring him to 27 because he was still at 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what was Crump at?
Crump finished out with, what was it, 25, I think?
Well, no,
Check it
he
out.
finished out with 25 and then got another 7. 7 and 7 is 20 and 27. No, I got 27. 20, 20. I mean, 10 and 10 is 20. 5, 6, 7. Now it's a tie.
Whoa. But Roy's still in the room. And I just switched over. I haven't been paying attention to them on my other handset to the text chat. There's been a whole bunch of stuff going on out there. And Roy, don't worry. Most people have trouble spelling Leonard Skinner. It's a weird one. There's a second Y in it. That's what tosses people off. And actually, a couple of little bits of trivia on the way out the door, not just about that song, but about the band. The band named themselves after a teacher. It's like a gym teacher of theirs. It was a real person. Different spelling, of course. They briefed on the spelling of that gentleman's name, but the last piece of trivia on that song specific is Give Me Back My Bullets is not actually about firearms or real bullets at all. It's about music charts, the bullets of being on a music chart. They had a really well known dispute with their label, the record label MCA. They wrote songs about it, like totally trashing their own record label. So yeah.
So do I got Roy's address anywhere? That would be the question. All right, so let's see. We hit the tactical quiz and a special bonus tactical quiz for the people that are sticking around into hour number 2 almost. And then we talked about books and way too much about MASH and then a bunch of movies. So I think we've hit all the different pop culture ways of referencing gun stuff. And we also basically hosted a weird version of the mouse party in a way. So Give Me Back My Bullets is the one that won with 35% of the votes. I'm going to end that over there. 20 votes. And kind of waiting for Roy to let me know. I feel like I have sent something to Roy before, but I'm not 100% certain.
I'm kind of surprised to see that Aerosmith song take second place. I thought that there would be way more fans. I was really surprised to see there in the final standings of the poll that "Don't Take Your Guns to Town" finished dead last by a margin of 15%.
Or a more interesting song to hear out of these, right?
Agreed.
It's not like just I don't know what to call it, like a car riff or kind of song or whatever, like a stage riff. You know, it's like more of a actual ballad or whatever.
Oh, Roy's out there offering his first name and his general location. And I'm not sure where Big Easy was going with Bill Nye. Did I miss out on something there? Let me know what that's about, Big Easy.
I have no idea. Sometimes when people are not paying attention, the thing doesn't, it goes off of live, and they may be way behind or something.
The lag, yeah, I've had that happen to me.
All right, so I'm tweeting at the assortment of them again here. We got the Wolverines out, so I'm assuming that means that I know their address. So without getting too personal, in the live chat, let us know which one of these you'd be interested in here. They go from sort of I'm going to call it a kind of a greenish color through the blues into a purples and kind of into a rust. And I flipped these around before, and now I can't tell which way they should go. You know what it is? I think didn't I take somebody's and I staggered it like one every 4 or something? So there might be a step here.
And some folks were able to select. I do remember being able myself to pick one out of the lineup, and DM Foss able to do the same. So there will be a couple of gaps in the color scheme there. That gradation is nice though. I like that.
Yeah, I mean it still happens even though there's it's not consistent or it's not. Yeah, I guess consistent is the word.
Yeah, had I not been told, I wouldn't have known.
So we're waiting for Roy to pick from the left to the right, or however he wants to do it. And what else are we missing?
I think that would bring it to a wrap.
See how many other people are out there now being like going, hey, well, there's not much being said right now.
There he is out there saying the fourth one from the left.
4. So I'll make it very, very similar to the one that's headed out to.
Well, That's the
Chrome.
one I selected, the deep blue for Crump, and he gave me a nod of appreciation for that pick out there in the text chat earlier tonight.
And then obviously, like say, Roy, somehow get in contact with me. Let me know what the address is then. So yeah, that's all it is. Big easy is that just click the little over near the volume. There's a thing that says live, and that needs to be red. If it's not red, it just means you're like watching at some point in the distant future or distant past. All right, I'm gonna go put these back real quick before I leave them out here.
And I'm going to drop links out there, not only to GWeb's Patreon address, but also to gear websites. You've seen a commercial or two during the cast. Go ahead and check out all the 2A swag that's over there. Got some good stuff going on, including some Wolverine patches. So if you like those, you can check out some other editions of that series. I've got more than a few. I believe that Guns and Barbecue is the reigning patch leader for the Wolverine patches. He takes a great amount of pride in that. He's got some panels full of gear websites patches out there. I got more than a few myself. So I'm dropping that link out there to the gear website store right now. Check it out, folks.
I always had an issue with the internet over there. Definitely know what that's like. Although I have seen them farting around in the neighborhood, so I think they may be upgrading stuff. So that's good to hear, or it's good to hopefully it means we'll see some better internet here. Thanks, DJ, for dropping the links out there. And again, Roy's going to let us know or let me know somehow privately or whatever an address he wants me to send that to. So again, thanks everybody for showing up for the tactical quiz. On Wednesdays, we try to keep the concept of a firearms game show going. At some point, we'll get a bunch more Patreons or some other support for this. Eventually, even though I'm not a big fan of doing sponsorships and stuff, I do want to have prizes and cool stuff, and I'm not rich. So I'll probably do some sort of thing where I let people give me a bunch of free stuff so that I can give it away and have cool prizes. I do have a bunch of free stuff over here. I just have to really get pictures of it and kind of sort it out and have some fun with it. So thanks to the Patreons, as I mentioned a couple of times already, our Patreons make it possible for us to do what we do. And what do you call it? I usually mention towards the end of the show that there's been a scroll going at the bottom of the show the whole damn time, and none of y'all clicked on it again. So if I were to go over here and screen share, you can see that there's only one person who's used the hashtag all day, Roy. So I'm already sending Roy something. So I can't even click on it with just one drawing. But if you go back and look, that hashtag has been scrolling down at the bottom there. Type the hashtag Daily Gun Show in the text chat for a chance to win even more free loot. I do this constantly, like literally constantly, and nobody ever does it. Nobody ever looks down there, takes advantage of the free loot. I'm already sending stuff to Roy, so congratulations for paying attention to the bottom of the screen where nobody looks down there. Patreons appreciate it. I appreciate it. DJ, you want to plug anything on our way out of the door here?
I do indeed. The Guns and Barbecue channel has a chat coming up this very evening. Stop by and check out the Almost Nightly Firearms Expo, one of the best 2A ripoff shows that there is on the YouTubes. And until then, y'all, be safe, have fun, carry your guns, and rock. Thanks, G.
Thanks everybody who listens to this on the other platforms that leaves us comments. We do appreciate the folks that are over there on UG YouTube leaving us comments. It's been appreciated. Nobody really leaves us comments on Gunstreamer too much, except for when I leave comments on their videos, which is appreciated. And then over on guntube.org, another Pro 2A video hosting platform that we'll put the tactical quizzes over there on these platforms. We'll usually put the wrap-ups. If we do special videos or interesting videos on the channel, the big channel, we'll post those over there. So we do appreciate the people that give us feedback from all those different places. Let's see. Got my headphones on while cleaning my G42 just behind. No worries. Normally, there's a show right after this. It would be starting an hour ago, and it's called The Mouse Party. I guess they quit doing it. They hate 2A or something. Maybe we'll chalk them into getting back into 2A and doing live shows again by next week. We'll see. But I forgot what the deal was. Did he tell us why? Or something up?
I'm not sure. Stay tuned for details and check it out next week.
But normally it's on Wednesdays. So if you're interested in another late night show, if you're a person who's working overnight, cleaning everything up, resetting everything, stocking shelves, cleaning things, basically, getting things organized, getting everything ready for the people who take advantage or take everything for granted and blame everybody all day long. Oh, see, he's working. So that's what this show is all about. So thanks to the people that, like I say, give us a chance to do this one all night. More Patreons mean we'll stay on longer. I like these long format shows personally. However, it's kind of a pain in the ass on the podcast thing because they charge you by the hour, so to speak. At least they give me so much space, and then I gotta like delete the old stuff because these things are long. So this 2-hour show means I got to go delete 2 1-hour shows in order to kind of do that little stupid dance over there, so I don't have to pay for that service. If I had a bunch more Patreons, I could just pay for that stupid service. So if you're over there listening to podcasts and you're like, dang, how come on this podcast service I only get like 4? It's because I don't feel like paying them $30 a month for that. When you can go to the other podcasts, go to iTunes. We got like 200 of them up over there. The good podcast services that let us hook right up to them, iTunes, iHeartRadio, they have the entire 200 plus episodes that we have hosting right now. But the Podbean and the Stitcher and some of the others, we can only cram like 3 to 4, sometimes 5 if they're really short episodes. And that's why some people keep their episodes down to an hour. I'm not going to pay them $30 a month. It's just not worth it. I'm paying too many other bills right now. So again, I appreciate the Patreons that give us a chance to do this. If you'd like to see more of this, then consider grabbing us a cup of coffee each month. If 1,000 people gave us a cup of coffee, I could shut up about this and we would just move on, blowing your minds with 2A stuff all night long. If I got 1,000 people giving me a cup of coffee every month, we'd be granting like $1,000 a month to people like Tony Simon. So it's crazy how much a cup of coffee a month can do when it adds up. We have like 150 people, not 1,000. So if you're interested in seeing what would happen with the investment in content creation, head over to Patreon. There's lots of good content creators over there. I suggest taking $20, throw $5 at us because we're awesome, and then take the rest of that $15 and chop it up into pieces and give it to content creators that you value. And after a few months, you'll have spent $100. If you don't think that $100 was a good investment, then let me know, because I've been suggesting that to people for a while now, and nobody's come back and said it didn't work out for them. So I suspect if you invest in the stuff that you value, you'll appreciate the return on that investment. I know that I do appreciate the ability to spend time on stuff like this without any kind of focus on, except for buying stuff from our damn store. I don't care what grip angle you've got. I don't care how many red dots you have or don't have. I don't have any skin in those games, and we can continue to work for the stuff we're working for. So with all that being said, thanks for listening this long into the show, and we'll be back to pick you up later.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.
Tonight's episode, Triangle of Terror.
This is our tribute to Foss, who has to be at work this evening.
So let us know what you think. We'll be watching the comments wherever you find the video, over on gunstreamer.com or on guntube.org.
Thank you for supporting our projects. If you'd like to buy us a cup of coffee, check out our Patreon channel.
The guys and gals of gunwebsites.com encourages you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thank you for watching GunWebsites.com.